Right, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV, and welcome to another live stream. I didn't know what to call this stream at all. I'll be honest with you. So I just thought, you know what, let's go live, and the real G's will join this stream, and we'll. I mean, to be honest, every single stream is a Q&A, but this one we can do a Q&A. We can talk about some topics and. Oh, that juicy stuff, mate. I've only just realised I'm on the wrong camera. I'm on my laptop camera. It's actually all right, to be fair, in a chat, you know what I mean? The lighting and that. But give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. If you've just tuned in, I'm just going out to switch to my other camera, and I'll be back in a second and answer the comments. 1 second. Oh, that was muted. I was muted. Thank you for letting me know. I apologise. That was a terrible start to the stream. I apologise to those who thought that you were going to watch this stream without audio. Well, don't worry. I'm back. James, shut up. No audio. Anyway, chat. After the struggles of no camera, what else? What else was no audio? Then we can get into the stream. Now let's go. Question. Will take Dumfries, who will play right back, centre back. Will you take Dumfries? Okay, so you're talking about the right back from Inter. No. Well, actually, I'd take him if we really wanted him, but I don't think we really want him. So, yeah. But chat, the premise of this stream, as we've had a hectic start, big up to everyone who's just tuning in, and I apologise if you're watching this on replay and you had the confusion on, wait, James, is this even a productive stream? Don't worry. Yeah, we're just going to do about half an hour, 40 minutes of about questions and talking about the topics recently. But this is just mainly a chill stream, you know what I mean, chat? So get your questions in or get your opinions in, and thankfully we're all good. Shout out to Jack. He says, thoughts on BS Valverde rumours? Exactly what you said, sir. Exactly BS. It's just one of those things where you're going to get linked to some of these players over the course of the summer. It's not a bad thing. It's just one of those. Journalists need finances, and I will only ever... I mean, the only time I ever talk about BS transfers is if I am calling out the BS on the transfer. That's the only time I'll talk about them. But in terms of the journalists, sometimes they just need to make up stuff to get clicks, and then hopefully it'll go together. Shout out to Ukas. He says, better finisher, Nunez or Emmy Willis. Oh, is that the guy from Everton, chat? Chat, is that the guy from Everton? Because I don't know if that's Emily Willis. Who's Emily Willis? I don't know. Oh, Emily. Nah, that's not the guy from Everton. That's not the... I think his name's what's his name again? Is it Sin? I don't know what his name is. He's a young striker. But nah, I don't know who Emily Willis is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I read that wrong the first time round. Oh, who's Emily Willis? BS on serious. Why are you being dead funny tonight, chat? I can't even read these questions. Hamez, very random. But did you know the video of John Cena reacting to you is liked by Dua Lipa and Millie Bobby Brown? Chat, who's Millie Bobby Brown? I know Dua Lipa and Dua, if you want to, like, you know, get in the DMs. Give us a shout, girly. You know what I mean? Only if you believe in Christ. Nah, I don't know who the second person is, though. Shout out to Dua Lipa. Didn't she do the final of our final? Oh, I'm not Blairy. Am I going to have to go out and go back in one Stream's gone tits up, guys. Stream's gone tips up. Yeah, I don't know who the second one is. Shout out to Canny Yankee. He says, what formation do you think Klopp will go with next season? Which formation would you personally? Great question. I think Klopp will stick with the 4-3-3. And what would I go with? I'd probably go with a 4-3-3, but do you know what? The way I think of it is you can change a team throughout the game. So the short answer, you can start with a 4-3-3, and then if you notice that going with a back three is beneficial for you out the game, then have that as the plan B. And then if you want to use a cam instead of a CDM, make a substitution. I'm all about changing throughout the game. It's not the score for me is there's no point in changing the game if the team are going to, there's no point in going into a game if a team's going to know exactly how you're going to play. And the way they will know that you're going to play is if you don't change throughout the game. So that's why I'd say change throughout the game. You know what I mean? By the way, we've got nearly 200 people in the stream. Smash a like. Once the stream's finished, leave a comment because it just adds to the algorithm, and it's always good to leave a comment. It helps out the channel, so make sure that you do that. And yeah, mate, like I said, this is just a stream where I'm answering questions and we're just having a laugh because we always do. Shout out to Stephen. He says, where do you think we'll finish next season? It's still too early. I've said top 4. I want to wait a bit longer till I've seen a bit more transfers come in, and then I'll be able to determine whether or not, we'll finish second or first or third or whatever like that. I don't want to be too negative too soon or too positive too soon. Bit of a balance. Ashley says, James, thoughts on Salah to Saudi rumours coming out this afternoon? Chat, is this legit? And by the way, if you've asked the question and you really want that question to be answered, then make sure you ask it more than once. Don't spam. In the space of about a minute or 2 minutes, ask the question again. I'm sure throughout the hour of this stream, I'll come to it at some point. But yeah, on the Salah to Saudi rumours, I've saw these throughout the summer. It makes sense. He's the number 1 Muslim athlete in the world. So for him to be linked to Saudi makes perfect sense because marketing, it makes sense. He's one of the best players in the world, so that makes sense. So Saudi should want Mo Salah. And 2 and 2. And as I said about the journalists, they're not always the most reliable and they're not always honest. Therefore, if they're not always honest, then they're looking for headlines. They're looking for monetization. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what they're looking for. And if that's what they're looking for, then you've got to analyze for what it is, and it could just be rumors. So I don't look anything. Even if Salah is linked to Saudi, even if a Saudi club wants Salah, we're not going to sell Salah. That's just the way it is. How's your walk with Christ going, James? Oh, amazing question. Not amazing. I believe it's everything that's going on. This is going to be a brief answer. I believe everything that's going on is happening for a reason. I believe God's putting it in my path for a reason. And even if I believe in myself, I'm not perfect. I know that no one's perfect except Christ. Therefore, I'm willing to keep shaking hands with Christ and keep going forward in that path. Thank you so much for that question, because that meant a lot to me personally, and I'm glad that you asked that one. People want Thiago gone. I think we really need him this season. Louis, I agree. And I know that a lot of my YouTube audience disagree with me with this, and this is why I'm more than happy to delve into this matter a little bit more deeply, right? Thiago is an elite level midfielder. Hear me out. He's an elite level midfielder, and because he's an elite level midfielder, it's very hard to replace. And he's only here for 1 more year, and it's very likely he's not going to go to Saudi, because some of these players don't care about money, chat. It's just one of those things. Thiago, Sergio Busquets, Lionel Messi. Of course, they want money and they get big finances, but in a sense of, do they care about the millions and millions plus the bonuses, what they're going to get in Saudi. I don't think they care. I think they more care about culture, more care about how they're going to live in their environment. They've already made enough money, a lot of these players. You know, if you think about your cap of how much, you know, would you be happy with 1 million? Would you be happy with 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? It's all the mindset. If you've got a poor mindset, you'll want more. You know, you'll probably withdraw from making more money, but you'll want more money. If you're rich, you'll make more money, but you'll withdraw from the idea of having to make more money because you've already got enough. So it just depends on what Thiago wants. But I think he wants to stay, and because of that, I would maximise that option and keep him. And I know that fans would say sell him. I would disagree with that notion. You're not getting a better backup centre mid. And I always emphasise the importance of squad depth. And that's why I'd, on this case, say that we need to keep Thiago. I think he massively enhances our chances of getting the league title. And guys, if you disagree with anything, let me know. If you want to come into the stream and call me out on anything, let me know. Message me on Instagram. And I'll check in about 20 minutes, half an hour, and I'll get you on the stream if you want to ask me a question and call me out on something. Because I think that's productive if we have counterpoints. Shout out to Daniel. He says, I've seen so much hate on Henderson and Thiago leaving the club. This is ridiculous and embarrassing for our fan base. But obviously, it's not real fans, just some people brainwash kids. You know what, Daniel? I hear what you're saying. I would probably jump on the train of Henderson leaving. And I know people put too much emphasis in captaincy and leadership. And I'm not saying Henderson's none of those things, but then I raise the question, can we cope without Henderson simply being there in the dressing room and wearing an armband? I think we can. I think we can do better than 5th place. I'll tell you that for sure. And as much as I agree, I don't think it's childish. I think it's their perception. But me, I personally go with Thiago staying. And if we got a specific offer for Henderson, then we'll sell him. If not, it's one of those things. By the way, the rat's gone. If you didn't know, the mouse is gone, chat. You know what I mean? Bruno's disappeared. He's dead, basically. It's one of those things, chat. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I'm sorry if anyone likes mouse. James Evans Hot says, I know. When transferring to a country like Saudi Arabia, you also need to think about your family, the schools, the kids. Can go how comfortable the family is of going. It's not just about money. It's the lifestyle. You're so bang on. I don't know your actual name because you've named your account after me, but I agree. It's a bit of a tough one if you move to Saudi, chat. I know you're getting a lot of money, but if you live your lifestyle in a manner of going out, drinking, drugs, no biblical values, you're simply living off your own premise, then that's going to just result in a life that you won't be able to live in Saudi. And some people like to live that life. Some people believe in Christian values, and of course we know that that's a Muslim majority area. Therefore, a lot of people will probably opt out of going there because culture wise it doesn't align with what they believe in, or it doesn't adhere to what they believe in. And that could be drinking, that could be degeneracy, that could be religion, it could be anything. But there's many incentives to also not go to Saudi as well as go to there. It's not me saying that it's bad to go to there. I'm just saying for some players it's not going to be the numero option, because not everyone just wants money. Would you prefer Everton getting relegated or Man U winning the league? I'd probably go with Everton getting relegated, because that's funny, and I've seen Man United winning the league plenty of times, and as long as we can compete the following season, which if FSG are good enough, then we're going to be able to do, then yeah, I'll go with Everton getting relegated. I feel that's more once in a lifetime, whereas Man United winning the league, as much as I hate that idea and that concept, I'm fine with it to a degree. You're asking questions rapidly, so I'm sorry. Again, repeat your questions about 2 minutes after. So if I haven't answered, reply it again, copy and paste, and reply it again, and hopefully throughout the stream I'll get to it. But there's loads coming in right now, so big up the chat, smash a like, yeah. But big up to Zane. If this is the Zane that I'm thinking of, big up to you. If not, welcome to the stream. James, if Hendo leaves, what do you think? Who do you think should be captain and vice for the future? I've always gone with Alisson, and I think there's a little bit of bias because I'm a Christian, and I also know Alisson is a Christian, so therefore I just think it takes a certain man of honour to be someone who's a pastor, someone who spreads the word of Christ. I think that's a huge leader in itself. And I also see his mannerisms on the pitch, and therefore I'd suggest Alisson would be number one suited to that role. If it's not him, then, and you want to go with an outfield player, you'd probably go with Virgil, wouldn't you? But I prefer Alisson. Me no lie. I believe I'm right and everyone else is wrong. Caleb, you are a narcissist. You're a narcissist, mate. You're a narcissist. I'm only messing. Vimeo says, wait, there's that Vimeo. Vivoxo. He says, Hamez, I know we're in for the DM, but do you think Lavia is the guy for us? Now I think he fits the profile for the position. Of course you do, because now we're linked with him. I'm only messing. But do you think he is the right player to take us forward in that position? I think he's got the attributes, but it's always difficult for a player that young who hasn't, Haaland's an example. Like, some players can go past the age of 19 and go through puberty, and we know that he's 19. Therefore, it's tough to always judge a young player, but I think he's got the attributes to be a top player. It's just about putting that together, and I think we've got the right manager to put that together, and that's why I've always opted him above Thuram. My personal opinion. James, who would you go for if we did end up selling Salah to Saudi for big money? And who would you say would be a decent option for his replacement? I'd say Rafael Leao. Yeah, Leao would be a quality. Big fan of Leao, me personally. And anyone who says, oh, Leao couldn't score the goals that Salah scored, you've got to remember, I love Salah and he's done his job well, but he's not the best player to ever play for Liverpool. And by the way, he's not even close. And I only say this because the team he played around was amazing. And it's not to take anything away from Salah. He maximised his potential in this team and became a legend. And he is a legend. And I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying that he's not as good as Luis Suarez was. He's not as good as certain other players was. I don't even think Salah... And hear me out. Oh, my goodness. You're going to hate me for saying this. I don't even think he's a better player, player, attributes-wise, than Sturridge. And just hear me out. He's got more goals, but he was in a much better team. He was here for much longer seasons. He didn't have the injuries. On best for best day, there's a few attackers that we've had that are better than Mo Salah, W or L, that are better than Mo Salah, right? They just never got the opportunities to play as much as Mo Salah, and they never got the team to play in as Mo Salah. Therefore, I think players like Rafael Leao could potentially score the goals that Mo Salah did if we built the team around Mo Salah. You're chatting rubbish. I'm not chatting rubbish. I'm fully not chatting rubbish. L. No, you didn't even hear what I said. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying L. Chat, you didn't hear what I said. Otherwise, you would not be saying L. It's as simple as this. Sturridge is a better player. Best for best day. But Salah is a bigger legend because all the compromises and things went in his favour, right? They went in his favour. Let me go out and back in because it's making me go blurry again. Right back in. Oh, why isn't it making me focus? I hate this camera. I think I'm going to start sticking to the laptop one in future. You know what I mean? Where's my mouse? Why isn't my mouse working? Me live stream and my laptop's going effed up right there. Right, let me try and sort that out. Boom. Chat, my laptop's fully doing a bandula on me. I can't even move my laptop. Right, let me go to my phone to look at the comments because right now my thing's doing a mad thing. Right, that's the advert. Chat, am I still live? Can you still hear me? Because it's not letting me move me mouse for some reason. And I'd assume I'd have to turn off the stream. Salah at his best was better than Sturridge at his best. Salah at his best scored more goals than Sturridge at his best, but I don't think he was ever a better finisher than Sturridge. Turn off the stream, mate. Go for a nap. I'm not going to lie to you, Daniel. I'm not going to go for a nap. I think I'm going to stand by what I've just said. Uncle's daughter, lad, bro, Salah in that 2018 and 19 seasons was unstoppable. But Sturridge in 13-14 was also unstoppable. And he weren't the main goal scorer. That was Suarez. And he had a couple of injuries. I'm just saying, chat, peak for peak, best day for best day, right? Not over the course of a season, best day for best day. Not taking anything away from Salah, just putting an emphasis on how good this team was around Salah and why, if we got a Leao, if we built the team that we built around Salah, around Leao, he'd be able to score a similar amount of goals. I'm not going to lie. Because Salah's not the best finisher. He's not the best dribbler. He's not the best anything. What he is the best at is very plain and simply is finding those positions and maximizing the system. And that, my friends, is it, okay? It's a bit annoying that the streams, my laptop's doing this, but we'll bear with it. 250 people in the stream, big up. Shout out to Caden. He says, how much would you be worried if Qatar got United since it's looking more likely? Yeah, I'd be very worried. I'm not going to lie. Johnny Sins, you little porn star. Shout out. He says, Hamez, can Jesus Christ play the 6? Jesus Christ can do whatever he wants. My friend, don't you worry. Salah has scored loads of dream goals. Yes, Salah has scored loads of dream goals. But so did Sturridge. Let me take you back to Sturridge's goal in the Europa League final. Let me just take you back to it, chat. You know what I mean? Chat, by the way, I'm not saying Sturridge is better, Salah is shit. Okay? I'm just saying best day. I think Sturridge's got a few more things to his game. Okay, maybe not because they are two completely different positions. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say Salah, when you look at Suarez, he's one of the best in the number 9 positions. When you look at Salah, he's not the best dribbler. He's not the best. Let me rephrase. Suarez is the best dribbler, passer, shooter, all these things. He's one of the best in terms of strikers. Right winger, Salah isn't the best dribbler. He isn't the best shooter. He isn't the best these things. But he was in a world-class team. So it's not to take anything away from him. It's just the way it is. Shout out to Uncle's daughter who sends a £1 super chat. Big up. Everyone's just saying LLL. What do you mean, chat? Salah against City. Yeah, Salah against City was quality. But at the same time, I also need to admit that, you know, there was many performances where someone just sent me a message saying Salah's always that Dylan. Dylan, fuck off. Salah's good. But there's attackers who have been better all-round players, is what I'm saying. Just because he scored loads of goals, because he was in... Chat, tell me a time Sturridge was in a 97-point team. I'm not slandering Salah. I need to say this every 5 seconds before you fucking over-emotional merchants get on board. Tell me a time Sturridge was in a 97-point team. Tell me one time. Okay, and now tell me a time when he was in a 99-point team. And now I can give you 2 references where Salah was in both of those. And it was because Trent was boss, Robbo was boss, Van Dijk was the best in the world by far. The midfield, Fabinho was the best CDM. Henderson was so massively important to our system. Let's never take away from how good Henderson was a couple of years ago. Let's never take away how important Gini was. And then let's never take away how many chances the whole of that team created for Salah. Mane, Firmino, all these players. Sturridge didn't have Mane and Firmino. He had a meaty teenage Raheem Sterling and a world-class Luis Suarez who could do everything himself. Therefore, he wouldn't need to leave the ball off to Daniel Sturridge. You know what I mean? And it's bullshit, chat, that fact that we're not even open to a compromise. Right, what I'm going to do, dead quick, because my laptop has seemed to have paused. So what I want to do, JR... Because I can't even keep up with the comments at this rate, right? I'm in the stream. Let me turn that off. Right, chat. So you're stuck with me for the meantime on this camera while I'm sorting out. It's not going to be this audio for long. It's just going to be this audio for now, right? I'm just turning my laptop on and off. But that's what I'm saying on the Salah point, and I will get into your comments so you can all respond. I'm just working 3 jobs at once. Oh, shit. Why is it doing that? It's like turning off and back on, but whenever I turn it back on, it won't like turn on properly. Why is it doing this? I've never done this before. Nah, it's not like turning off properly, chat. What do I do here? I might need to end the stream abruptly because my laptop's doing a Van Zulu thing, you know what I mean? Let me turn my phone this way so I can look at your comments. Right, Sturridge was class, says Zekton plays. But as you can see, man does social media now, which shows he doesn't have that drive anymore. No, he got loads of injuries. It weren't because he doesn't have that drive no more. It's because he got injury prone to a point where he couldn't play no more. The same thing could have happened to Salah. It's not that Salah's a bad player. It's just if he got the same injuries, he wouldn't have had the longevity. And if he didn't have the longevity, then people probably wouldn't pay him the same respect. You know what I mean? He was in a better team. and he was fit. And there's so many things and admirable qualities about Salah. So all you Salah fanboys are going to take this like, oh my God, James, you're a proper muppet because you said this about Salah. But you are just muppets, and you don't hear what I'm saying. I'm saying there's been many, not just Sturridge, but many better attackers in their positions. Not even all-round players, but many better attackers in their positions. So Sturridge for a striker was better in attribute. Like, his finishing was one of the best in the world. Sturridge had one of the best finishes in the world. Salah isn't one of the best finishers in the world. His conversion rate doesn't say that, but the volume of chances allows him to get more goals than other players. That's a system thing to me, not a team thing. So, by the way, I'm logging back into my laptop now. Wait there. Boom. Chat, I think I'm good. Again, my laptop kind of froze, so I don't even know what happened there. Clip them up. Clip me up all you want, you bastards. I'm telling you how it is. I'm not saying... If you think Salah was the best at dribbling, the best at shooting, the best at all these attributes, you're high on crack cocaine. He was in a great system, but he's a great player as well. But that's all he is a great player, but one of the best of all time. That's the way I'd halt and say, let's not disrespect the players around him, because he was massively adhering to a system. Oh, shit. Yeah, Ruby was supposed to be in tonight, but Ruby couldn't end up making it. I apologise, chat. It's one of those, my G drunk Vigo. Hamez, football conspiracy. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to stay in this chat with Salah at the moment. And ask me that again in a minute. Sturridge was a very good technical player and a great finisher, but I'm sorry to say, Sturridge was still part of the squad that won the Champions League and accumulated 97 points in the league. That means nothing, Ryan. In fact, Ryan, as much as I love you, that means zero. Do you want me to tell you why? Because he never played that season. Yes, he was assigned to the squad, but he never played. And if he never played, you can't judge him to the same way that you can judge him for best Sturridge. And that is my argument. Best Sturridge. And if you want to unsubscribe, fine. Be a pussy and don't engage in open conversation about footballers, you fucking muppets. But I'm just saying, best for best day, there's many attackers who were better than Salah. And I'd probably be able to name about 6, maybe 7 for Liverpool alone. Shout out to Harris. I agree that's there's better players than Salah, but mentioning Sturridge is an LLIMO. Okay, maybe Sturridge weren't the best reference. I understand where maybe the confusion's coming. Maybe Sturridge weren't the best reference. I'm happy to subtract from it. But Sturridge on his peak day was one of the best strikers in the world. I'm just saying, chat. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. And I suppose you could counter that with Salah's one of the best right wingers in the world. So, yeah. But I hope you know what I'm saying now. Fair point. People have forgotten how good Sturridge was. People have forgotten how good Sturridge was. Sturridge was elite. You know what I mean? He was one of those players. Shout out to Scouse Gamer. He says, I don't know if this is being asked yet, James. We are allowing players to go on a free. FSG complained about a lack of funds a week or 2 ago, but we are letting contracts run out on players go for free. The idiots, bro. I've been trying to tell you this. But it seems like you already know it, sir. So you're in the know. Hamez, lad, IMO. Salah isn't a better footballer, in quotations, than the ones you've mentioned. But for the system, I think Salah suits us more. And that's what I'm saying. Salah in a world, because chat, can we agree or disagree? W or L, have we had as good of a manager as Jurgen Klopp since Bob Paisley? W or L, is Klopp our best manager since Bob Paisley and Bill Shankly? And I'm leading to a point, okay? So when you think of Evans, Benitez, fucking Hodgson, all them, Klopp is the best manager that we've had since Shankly, correct? Because you can't say Fagan. Fagan stayed here for 1 season, so you can't say Fagan. Everyone's saying W. So if Jurgen Klopp is our best manager, can I also ask the next question, chat? W or L? Is this the best team? Hear me out. The best team that we've had since Bob Paisley's team and since Fagan's team. So not only have you agreed that Klopp is the best manager, but can you also agree that this is our best team since pre-90s? W or L? Drunk Vigo says W. More people are saying W. And by the way, if you say L, like Esther, who's trying to be a friggin' annoying fuck, you're lying, because we never won any significant trophies from Fagan days to present day, right? So we've all Paisley had so Shankly had a dominating team, Paisley had a dominating team. Fagan stayed for about 2 seasons, I think it was, and then he got sacked. And then we went into the Roy Evans era, and then we went into the 90s, and that was shit, and we won nothing. And then Rafa won us the Champions League. But Klopp is by far the best manager, right? So he's the best manager, and this is the best team that we've had by a country mile since Bob Paisley, right? And the points tally suggests this. Now, Salah has been in that team. Sturridge wasn't. Suarez wasn't. Fowler wasn't. But them players, Michael Owen wasn't. If those Steven Gerrard wasn't. If those players was in that team, we are having different conversations. So it's not to take away from Salah. It's to put more of an emphasis on how good Jurgen Klopp is. Because if you're going to determine how good Jurgen Klopp is based on, Salah's carried him, then you're not rating Jurgen Klopp, you're just rating Mo Salah. But Mo Salah was an average winger or a good winger in Serie A. He weren't world class. And if you say he's world class, then you're smoking proper marijuana from the seediest of Amsterdam shops. But Mohamed Salah was a good winger who was turned into a world-class winger through the mighty hands of Jurgen Klopp. Now, is that a W or an L? Can you agree or disagree? And what about Dalglish? Okay, late 80s, 90s onwards, you know the point that I'm saying. Dalglish was all right as well. He weren't better than Klopp. Come on. Dalglish was good. He weren't better than Klopp. There we go. Now you're hearing what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yous are hearing what I'm saying. Okay, Dalglish, if you want to say Dalglish, fine. But that was pretty much Bob Paisley's and Shankly's team anyway in 86. You know what I mean? That was their foundations. Dalglish was bought off those people. And then Paisley eventually became the board and director of the club. So, fine. Dalglish, if you want to say, based on season for season. But all round, I have to agree that Klopp is the best that we've had since those managers. Not even, and by the way, it's not even close. But yeah, that's the point that I wanted to make about Salah. Fucking hell, that was absolutely insane. James, you've moved the goalpost so far. You take his trash. Esther, shut the fuck up. I just want to say, Esther, shut the fuck up. All right, you know I love you, but shut the fuck up. What goalpost have I moved? Okay, I will. Okay, I want to apologize. I started this debate with Daniel Sturridge as an example. It weren't a good example because the two different positions. Okay, what I meant to say was that Mohamed Salah in Roma was not that great. Okay, he was good. He was good, but not that great. He's now great. He was good. When he came to Liverpool, he became great because of the system. And then last thing, if we got someone like Leo or Diaby or someone, because this is where this started, they could become just as good as Salah if you trust the judgment of Jurgen Klopp, right? That's all I'm saying. Because if you say Salah is better than all the players like Suarez and all these players in the past, then you are saying Salah is the only reason why he's world class and Klopp is none of the reason, right? And I will not agree with that sentiment. You fucks. Bob Paisley, GOAT Liverpool manager. Not even a question. Chat WRL, Bob Paisley, GOAT Liverpool manager. 19 trophies in 8 years. By the way, not just the GOAT Liverpool manager, the GOAT of football. Pep Guardiola can't chat to this man. Sir Alex Ferguson can't chat to him. Arsene Wenger, oh my goodness, not even in the same category. And even Jurgen Norbert Klopp, not even close. Bob Paisley was a monster. James thought the 80s was in black and white. I don't know what that joke's supposed to imply, but if you're going against me, fuck you! Salah is not as good as Suarez, and it's not even close. Player for player, it's not even close. Dribbling, not even close. Shooting, not even close. Set pieces, not even close. Technical ability, not even close. What is close is the balance that Salah was able to have because of the good team around him. And that's not a bad thing. You over-sensitive fuckers. Hamez, lads, who would you rather? Who would you want to be our free kick taker? Szoboszlai, McAllister or Trent? Right, let's remove McAllister. Let's get to the big boy conversations. Fuck McAllister. Szoboszlai, and Trent. Chat, who are you going with? Yous are gonna fucking hate me. Yous are gonna not be able to stand me. But my new favourite player, SummerSlam, is taking everything. You know what I mean, chat? SummerSlam is the best player that we've got in this team. Can I just get this across to you? He's the best player. He's going to be the best player that we've got in this team, chat. He is going to be the best player that we have had in this team. I don't think you understand. I am so excited for Sobbo. I'm so excited for Sobbo. And I love Trent. But you know, if Sobbo just shows Jürgen one of those free kicks. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be so fucking nice. Oh my God. Chat, you don't understand. SummerSlam, I'm so excited for. He's one of those players that for a while, I just never thought we could have even acquired such a quality player. But we acquired such a quality player, and that's great. You know what I mean? Like, when you get a signing on board and you can just align with that signing, it's amazing. He'll be a squad player. He will not. He will start immediately. I will let you know that now, and I will let you know that for free. His ability is too good. I agree. Sobbo is better than Messi. I'm only messing. James helping Sobbo up like Nunez. Nah, you think Nunez can dribble like Sobbo, yeah? You're so fucking stupid. Johnny, you stupid bastards. You think he can dribble like Sobbo? You think he can shoot like Sobbo? You think he can play the game of art of football like Sobbo? You fucking stupid idiots. Fair play to Nunez. I hope he finds his stride, but how dare you mention those two in the same category? This ain't the same signing. This ain't the same signing, you stupid fools. James, will you ever do a collaboration with Redmen TV? Absolutely. I'm sure one day that'll happen. Hopefully Sobbo stops Salah standing there in free kicks, acting like he wouldn't. Yeah, facts, bro. Why is Salah even standing in those free kicks? It makes no sense at all. Still sleeping on McAllister's ability as well. No. I'm not. I just recognise that Szoboszlai is better than McAllister. He's our best signing. Oh, and by the way, it's not even close. Not even close. Right? So I like McAllister. I just want you guys to know how much I rate Szoboszlai. And if you guys don't realize it, use it. Idiots. Nunez should take everything, even captain. Nelson, you're a fucking stupid bastard. You're a stupid bastard for that take. Salah stands over free kicks, wishing he was Sturridge. Bro, Salah is that guy. He is that guy. He's amazing. But there's just some players that he can't chat to. Best for best. That's it. But then there's some players who can't chat to Mo Salah on a longevity standpoint. Because if we're going to say this argument, then that means you all think, yeah, if you're saying Salah's the best of all time and no one else can compete, you're saying Vidic is better than Salah. Better than Virg. Chat WRL. You're saying Vidic is definitively 100% better than Virg. But what's the argument that we like to make? Peak for peak. Vidic was never as good as Virg. And even if you agree Vidic was as good as Virg, Liverpool fans like to go with that claim, don't they? So if you go with that claim and that argument, but you say Salah is better than all these attackers in another, then you're high on crack cocaine, and furthermore, you're contradictive. Hashtag just saying. Szoboszlai is the best signing since Suarez. Facts. I dreamed yesterday that Thiago gone on. In fact, maybe Thiago was, but he hasn't been the best player in the team. But I think Szoboszlai will become. Chat, just analyze his mentality. If you guys like educating yourselves on psychology, you'll look at Szoboszlai like a monster. Just not even a question. Joking aside, I reckon Sobbo will be worth 150 million in a few years, bro. He's going to be priceless. He will be priceless. Rio was better than Virg. He weren't. Peak for peak, he weren't. I'm sorry, he weren't. There was never a defense that United had that we had when Virg was at the peak. Just wait. Did Rio ever get in the Ballon d'Or? I hate using that as a credible source, by the way, but did he? No. The fact that Verge even got into a corrupt Ballon d'Or shows how good Verge was. The fact he got into a Ballon d'Or, that is corrupt. Corrupt. He was that good. That's how good Verge was. Peak for peak. Overall, Rio and Vidic, fine. More than fine, as a matter of fact, to say that he's better than Verge. Peak for peak, I'm sorry. It's a much closer conversation than you think. And if you don't think it, you never watch Verge. We all agree that Big Dom is better than Alexis. But who has a better first season? Dom. Dom is just that type of player. He's going to settle in straight away. He's going to score goals straight away. He's going to get assists straight away. He's going to be a boss player straight away. I'm putting myself on the front line. I don't give a fuck. He's that good. He's that good. The only way he doesn't is if he gets injured. And that's the only thing I see getting in his way. I don't see anything even happening in his personal life that gets in his way. His mentality just seems to be supreme. Quality player. How many goals and assists do you think Dominic will get next season? I think he'll get double digits in both. I do. He'll be amazing. You'll hear it here first. How many goals and assists? I've answered that question. Hamez, Robbo for captain? Nah. He'd be up there, but not overall. Joseph says James is chatting shit. You're the same guy who was saying Nunez was going to score the same amount of goals, if not more goals than Haaland. So how about this? Joseph, shut the fuck up, lad. Little mush. I love you, Joseph. Fucking pussy. Mount says, Wes says, Mount doesn't deserve to be in the same combo as Sobo. That's why he's not. That's why he is not. Mount is not in the same conversation as Sobo. By the way, it's not even close. You know what I mean? Being on Soboslai hype train since early 2021. Guy's a mentality monster. And very sound technically. I get exactly what you're on about, Hamez. You know what I mean? I'm glad that you see it, brother. Oh my goodness, there's so many people. You know what I mean? It even says, like, those with a lack of knowledge shall perish. It says that biblically. We can relate this to football terms. Those with a lack of knowledge shall perish. The same those who decided to jump on the Nunez train. The same those who right now are questioning me on Soboslai. Those with a lack of knowledge shall perish. Just saying, chat. James, lad, you seem to know so much about Sobo, but have you watched 5 full games? No, and I don't need to. No, and I don't need to. I'm just saying, listen to me in time, Lewis. Time is the best answer. It's the most clarifying thing. If you listen to just me and just my source, that's not credible enough. Listen to me, take in your other sources, use the senses that God gave you, which is hearing, listening, speaking, smelling. I smell, I hear, I speak, I see. Soboslai is a good signing. I maximize all of my human senses to Soboslai being a good signing. Because what I see is amazing. When I see that he's won a trophy every single year in his professional career, that's amazing. When I see him carrying his national team, that's amazing. When I see he's the best player that we've signed since Luis Suarez, technical-wise, that's amazing. And if you don't see it, I refer it back to a biblical reference. Those with a lack of knowledge shall perish. Everyone can look at amazing on YouTube, though, lad. No, they can't. No, they can't. Because everyone thought Nunez looked amazing. I didn't. Because I weren't fooled by the stats. I analysed dribbling. I analysed finishing. I analysed conversion. I analysed attributes, my friend. I analysed mentality. When you analyse all of these things, you get a more responsive answer. And therefore, Soboslai, for me, is going to be an amazing player. I am not just determining my judgment on Soboslai based on compilations. I am determining my judgments on Soboslai based on quality, based on attributes. It's as simple as that. Shout out to Danny Bingham. He says Sturridge over the English Aruna Kone. Nah, great super chat, Danny. Big up. Nunez looked funky on YouTube. That's not what people were saying when he played us. You know what I mean? People watch one game of Nunez in the Champions League and said he's going to be better than Haaland. You do this to yourselves. You say, "Oh my God, James, why are you shitting on Nunez?" You do it to yourselves. I praise Szoboszlai. You then say, "Oh, why didn't you rate Nunez?" You're dumb, chat. You're dumb. You'll see all in due time, though. It's fine. You'll see all in due time. Anyone who knows football knows this fella is the dog's bollocks. Louis, my guy. See, I've got there's me and there's some people on this platform who just seem to understand. Right? There's me. I even converted Johnny into an FSG outer. Remember, chat, how much of an FSG inner that Johnny was when he joined the stream. And think about how he's now an FSG outer. You know what I mean? Johnny can't handle me. Hussam can't handle me. And the 232 people in the stream cannot handle me. And the 100 people in the stream who agree with me, we on the same page, brother. We on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who can't say Szoboszlai's name, just remember this is Szoboszlai. Oh, Szoboszlai. I'm not going to lie, from Szoboszlai, he said that it was Szoboszlai, not ah. And that was from his mouth. I'd rather listen to him than you. Do you think Nunez was a Klopp sign? In fact, how much influence do you think Klopp has and used to have versus Edwards, for example? Always rumours about different signings being down. So I always think that Klopp gets involved in the conversations. And I also think that we need to analyse that Klopp has a limited judgment because he can't watch these players the same way the board of directors can. But yes, I think Klopp will have a significant say. So for instance, the Darwin one that you say, I can only speculate. I can never confirm because I weren't in the rooms. But I think that was that one specifically, because the claim that I like to refute is that Klopp doesn't have 100% control, right? He doesn't have 100% control. Therefore, I have given you case studies in the past to suggest why he doesn't have 100% control. What does 100% mean? It means every transfer decision. So that was the claim that I refuted. This one, Nunez, I think he had a big part, and I think it's one example of many, including the fact that he didn't want Salah, including the fact that he wants to keep Milner, of ones that I weren't a big fan of. And it's also why I would not give full control to Klopp when it comes to transfers. Yes, an input, but not full control. So when people say he has full control, I disagree. And then when people say he shouldn't have full control, I agree. Does that make sense? Saudi wants Salah. This is going to have to be a Redmond roundup tomorrow because apparently this is concrete. But don't worry, guys. Liverpool are not going to sell Mo Salah. It won't happen. James, unrealistic question for you. Who would you rather have, Odegaard or Tchouaméni? For me, I'd go with Tchouaméni. Just because we got Fabinho, he looks like he's on his way out. But I like Odegaard. But yeah, I think Szoboszlai is better than Odegaard. And I do mean that to Arsenal fans who want to dislike the video. Player for player, I think he's much better. And Tchouaméni, we need that type of player. James smoking some good hot spoons with these opinions. Johnny, do you want to get in the chat and I'll fucking tell you? I'll tell you at the end of the stream, you knobhead. How does it affect you being known by 99% of individuals purely for the Sadio Mane clip? It's actually all right. It's you know, it's like one video that goes really well. I'm all for one season wonders. You know what I'm saying? Big up to yourself, sir. Adam says Klopp doesn't have 100% control, but he has big say, and him not wanting Salah is a myth. He preferred Brandt, but FSG preferred Salah. Doesn't mean he didn't want him. Do you hear the contradiction of what you've just said? Jurgen Klopp wants Brandt, so therefore you're saying Brandt is his number one option. But in the next sentence, you're saying FSG, not Klopp, FSG wants Salah. So even if Klopp was happy with Salah as his second, let me use your sentence as a reference. It wasn't his first. Therefore, Jurgen Klopp didn't want Mo Salah. He wanted Brandt. And if Brandt weren't available, then who knows who was number two? Maybe that's when we went to the FSG option. But I just want you to hear, Adam, the contradiction in your own sentence. Klopp doesn't have 100% control. I agree. But he has a big say. I agree. And him not wanting Salah is a myth. I disagree because of the next sentence you said. He preferred Brandt. Exactly. So therefore, he didn't want Salah, did he? He wanted Brandt. James giving washed up opinions. Johnny, you're washed up. The second you went from FSG into FSG out, you were washed up. How about that? How does it feel that no one can handle you, James Rodrigo Redmond Diaz? I'm a beast, bro. I'm a beast. Agree or disagree, I don't care, blood. I don't care, blood. I'm ready for this. What would Nunez have to do for you to change your opinion on him, aside from turning into Sturridge? If he scores 30 goals a season, if he does what Salah does and just improves his conversion, then yeah, I'd be happy with Nunez. But he's only a system player. He's not a player who's going to be amazing by any means. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. James, we are always letting players for free. I've answered this question this stream, bro. But yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not good that players are going for free. Salah will be like, I'm not going to lie, chat yet. The mouse is gone and the mouses are gone. I think they're gone. But like, I hear like, mental noises in my head, like as if they're still there. But they're not there. I'm just like, this noise is outside. That's setting me off. Shout out to Craig. He says Soboslai is amazing. McAllister, genie vibes. Fair play, sir. But yeah, Soboslai is amazing. You're right there. Thank you for the super chat as well. James, even if Nunez scores 30 goals a season, he doesn't seem like a player with technical composure that I can like. Neither does Salah. And this is why eventually Salah gave me the benefit of the doubt. Because years ago, I didn't watch Salah enough to make a judgment. Whereas now, I now do things where I can make a better judgment on players. And I read football better. And because I read football better, it allows me to... And if Salah joined now... If Salah joined right now from Roma, I'd probably say I'm not a big fan of that signing because of the lack of a technical ability. But then when he became the 40-goal a season striker, 30-goal a season striker, that is when I sit there and say, you know what? Salah's good enough for the team. And I'd do the same with Nunez. It's not a case of like, oh, Nunez is shit. And even if he scores 50 goals, he's still shit just because he doesn't have technical composure. If we build a system around Nunez, which adheres to him, that scores him 40, 50 goals, great. I've got no complaints. Curtis Jones had a strong end to the season, and he's also been England's best under 21. Big things incoming for him. I agree. And you know what's mad? I want to say one thing about you Darwin Nunez super fans. The same Darwin Nunez super fans are the same guys that will sleep on Curtis. The same Darwin Nunez super fans are the same guys that will sleep on Harvey Elliott. So when you have a go at me, and call me cruel for Nunez and call me shit for my opinions on Nunez. When all I say, when Nunez joined, all I said he wouldn't score 20 goals this season. Go and watch it back on the Cop TV if you don't believe me. Go back about 9-10 months, you'll see them exact statements. And then you'll also see that I said he's technically inferior to a lot of strikers. So you same fucks who say I'm mean for calling out these inconsistencies on Nunez are these same fucks who will call Harvey Elliott shit, Curtis Jones shit, even though you've only seen them a few times. You saw Darwin Nunez never, and you said he was world class and better than Haaland. Yet you said Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones are finished when you've seen them minimally. You guys are crazy. Because if you watch Darwin Nunez the same times that you watch Harvey and Curtis, you wouldn't want him. Hamez, if my dad was at you right now, he would have gave you a wee cheeky naughty tenner, lad. Would you do to no one who can handle you, Hamez? Red Rodriguez from Montillo de Papalela. Hey, mis amigos, hey. They go, my G. You know the score, fam. You know the score. Curtis is one of us, born and bred red. Yeah, he's a scouser, him, lad. Scouser, Curtis. Soboslai assist. Yeah, Sobo assist. Sobo assist, you know that. Nunez is skinny Andy Carroll. But you onto the way you make me shit on Nunez when I'm not trying to shit on Nunez. You guys do it. You guys actually do that to yourselves. James, who's more annoying, Bruno or the mouse or Anthony Gordon? Bruno, the mouse or Anthony Gordon? Bruno was annoying, I'm not going to lie. I actually went to primary school with Anthony Gordon. He was sound in high school. Primary school. So yeah, it was he was a good lad. Do you think Nunez was brought in to replace Salah if Salah didn't end up signing that contract? I don't know. Good question. Maybe. I think we would analyse on Nunez for a while. I'm not gonna lie. Thoughts on Bastoni for left centre back? He'd be great, bro. He'd be great, but we're not getting him. Esther says James is the type of guy to hate on players from his own team. Okay, Esther, I see what you're saying, G. Nah. It's not even like that, chat. Nunez is just shit. Yeah, then. So when James constructively criticizes Nunez, it's hate, right? But when you say Adrian isn't good enough, right? You are fine. Right, chat. Let me. W or L, is Adrian good enough for Liverpool? W or L, I'm going to assess your honesty right now. Yeah? Okay, right. Listen to this. Is Adrian a successful player, W or L? Give me these answers. No, give me them, because I'm hunting. I am going to discover that you guys are huge. L. Well done for the honesty. I'm proud of you. We got most L's. Let me ask another question, right? Has who else? Was Ricky Lambert a W or an L for the football club? Chat, let me know. Right, and I'm gonna keep going. I'll say Mario Balotelli. I'll say Christian Benteke. These were all L's, right? I'm a back. It's Bruno. It's Bruno. Am I back? Is the audio okay? Oh, the blaring. I might need to go back and back in. I'm not even gonna lie, chat right there. Ah, I hate this stream. I hate stream. Okay, I'm back. Even though I was in the Moosey, it's the ghost of Bruno. Chat. Do you know? Even though I was in Mickey Mouse, did you hear what I was saying? Yes or no? Did you get what I said? Now stop hearing me. Shut up. This is what happens when you have L takes. What do you mean? All I'm saying is that if you say I'm hating on Nunez because I'm being constructive on his football, then you hate Adrian, you hate Ricky Lambert, you hate Mario Balotelli. Therefore, you hate your players. I'm just using your logic against you. That's all I'm saying, Esther. You're my little sis, but I'm just saying that you're a bellend as well. You're a bellend as well, Esther. You're a bellend. Oh, you didn't hear what I was saying? Okay. Well, the point that I was raising is that Benteke, if you didn't think Benteke, Lambert, or any of these players was good enough, then you hated them. And therefore, the logic you're using against me for Nunez is the same logic that you'd use for Benteke, Lambert, and all these players. Nunez are not as bad as them, as for fuck's sake. All right, then. If Nunez isn't as bad as Benteke, didn't Benteke still get like double-digit goals in his first season in less games? And even if it was more games, it weren't many more goals. So what substance? And even if Nunez is better, is he good enough? And if he's not good enough, am I okay to call out that he's not good enough? Okay, maybe Nunez isn't as bad as Benteke and all them, but Benteke was brought in to get us top 4. Nunez was brought in to get us a league title. You know what I'm saying? So if he was brought in to get us a league title, right, and he never got us that, and he never even got close, and he done shit, which he did, and you all thought he was going to do Haaland, which he didn't, because you don't know footy. Am I hating on Nunez, and do I hate my players because I called him out for it? Even before he joined, I called him out for it. But you guys are fine to hate on Curtis Jones, fine to hate on Harvey Elliott, Benteke, who was here for the season, like the way Nunez has had a shit season, Balotelli, Ricky Lambert. Yes, you're hating. Well, then so are you guys. That's what I'd say, Mikey. So are you guys. Okay, from this day forth, none of us can ever constructively criticize a player. Okay? Otherwise, you are participating in hate speech. Okay? Nunez isn't better than Gakpo or Jota. Imagine this, right? Right, imagine this, chat. So, first and foremost, I'm just going to raise that if... This is so funny. Lambert and Balotelli were brought in to be the replacements to Luis Suarez. Therefore, they had to play every game. Nunez isn't even better than the two attackers that we've got now. Oh, but Nunez is boss. Oh, but James is hating on Nunez. Shut the fuck up. Shout out to Team Coppish. James, I've been saying this for a while, bro. Bro, I don't know who this is, my G. Shout out to Callum. Shout out to Drifty. Shout out to man like Matt. Whoever this is, I am with you. I am with you. I am with you, my G. I am with you. Controversial take. Jota is more overrated than Nunez. Doesn't score for a year and people still love him. Chat, it's Callum. It's Callum. Guys, if you don't agree with me, take the substance from Callum. Right? So if you guys want to call me a hater because I predicted before Nunez joined he weren't going to be good enough to win us league titles, and since he's joined, he hasn't been good enough to win us league titles, and if I am a hater for calling out these said facts, then you are a hater for calling out Benteke when he weren't good enough. You are a hater when you called out my Balotelli when he weren't good enough. And if you disagree with that logic, then I'm sorry, chat. You are contradictive fucks who are participating in blind positivity. I have to make it clear. By the way, guys, go subscribe to Coppish. Amazing channel. Like one of the best groups of people that you'll ever see on the platform, period. Not just Liverpool, period. So go subscribe. Great takes, great discussions. And that's why I like their channel. They inspire me to have discussions. So make sure, guys, you tune into them to engulf what they're getting involved in, because it's amazing what they do. They're all like brothers on there, you know what I mean? Nunez, 15 goals before Christmas. How many goals after Christmas, Joseph? Oh, do you mean he'll score 15 goals before Christmas? I thought you meant last season. If you meant last season, then I was like, how many goals after Christmas? James, you're turning into rant and banter of Liverpool. Okay. Why? So do you know when you were saying Benteke wasn't good enough for Liverpool? Was you turning into the rant and banter of Liverpool? Was you being negative for negative's sake? Because I think that's what you're implying. Even though I think rant and banter speaks his honest opinion, I also believe, right? I also believe he speaks his truth. This is my truth. The same way you saying Benteke was shit is truth, is your truth. Or Adrian is crap, is your truth. I didn't think Nunez was good before, and I didn't think Nunez was good since. And then do you know what else someone said earlier? They said, James, you are the lead gunner of the Liverpool fan base because you said Henderson should go. No. Context includes that I said Henderson should go if we was to get an offer for Henderson. If we was to get an offer. Right? So include context before you call me someone who's just trying to be negative or trying to be blindly negative. I'm just trying to not be blindly positive, like the way you guys are. You know what I mean, Tony? I'm not trying to be rant and bant. I'm just trying to be straight up. And then let's also compare the price tags. Nunez was 65 mil, rising to 85 mil. Yet you guys will still sit there and say that, James, you shouldn't have those expectations for Nunez. He's young. James, you're hating on Nunez. Well, then apparently, we have to like every player who plays for our football club then. Isn't that right, chat? Isn't that right? When you evaluate something, you have to look at both sides of the argument, says Johnny, not just the narrow-minded view of the Jedi. One must study all aspects of the Force, James. Johnny, this is what I'm doing. Nunez is nowhere near one of the best finishers in the world. He's nowhere near one of the best dribblers in the world. He's nowhere near one of the best thinkers in the world. He's nowhere near one of the best composed strikers in the world. He's nowhere near a winning striker because he's never won anything. Okay, he might have won a Portuguese league. Fair enough. I'll bring that into his equation. Barely won anything. Played in La Liga second division 2 years ago. All those things plus the eye test says to me, Nunez isn't good enough. Is not good enough. I keep pretending like I hear a noise and it's Maginot chat. I keep thinking the mouse is there, but it's actually not. This was a striker that was available, who was available the same time as Nunez. And I said at that time, I'd take Isaac over Nunez. And look what Isaac's done and look what Nunez has done. One's overperformed, one's underperformed, one's in Champions League, one's not in Champions League. Guys, I'm sorry. Like, as much as you hate to admit it, I'm not trying to say I'm always right, but on the Nunez thing, so far, I've been right. We never improved with Nunez, and it weren't even close. And I'd argue we got worse with him. And then when he got out the team, we got better. Say what you want. Like, honestly, he could end up being good. I hope he does. That massively benefits me and the team. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I care about the team succeeding. I'm just telling you what I believe. James, do you reckon we are going for Lavia and Thuram? Over Thuram for squads? Yeah, we're definitely going to go for Lavia over Thuram. It's not even a question. And chat, there might even be one more mouse in there, you know. Chat, I'm not even messing. There might even be one more mouse in there, you know. I'm not like I'm just heard another noise. The traps are there in the kitchen though, so it should get him soon. You know what I mean? I hope there's no more mice, and if so, I hope they just fucking walk into the cheese. Hamez, football conspiracy. I think Spurs. You messaged me this earlier. I'll answer this now. I think Tottenham is a fan social study conducted by the Premier League and Daniel Levy to see how long will it take until a fan base gives up on a team. Thoughts? I think that's a great assessment. Yeah, I suppose if you were trying to analyze the analytical data of people who were depressed in football, yeah, I'm sure Tottenham would be a fantastic case study. Yeah, Callum wants to actually come on. Callum even let me know about the audio as well. Big up to you, Callum. Callum, if you're up for jumping on, I'll send you the stream, you know, bro. Yeah, one sec, guys. We might be able to get Callum in the stream, which he'll be able to back up what I'm saying. If he hears what I'm saying, then you guys might be able to hear it from a different voice. Just so you know, I'm not like saying this for any random reason. But Callum, if you're available, I'll send you the link. And here you go. I've sent you the link, G. I've sent you the link. If you can't join, don't you worry. If you can, feel free to join. Okay. Don't you worry at all. But everyone's saying, save us, Callum. Guys, Esther, you especially, I don't think you are going to like what Callum has to say here. If he jumps on. Yeah, he's going to jump on in 1 minute, chat. Give him time. Give him a minute to get into the stream. And I'm just saying, I don't think you're going to like what he has to say about Liverpool. Johnny's going to get a sore funny. Nah, that's too funny, you know, Chad. That's too funny. James, who's the better technical player, Mo Salah or Marcus Rashford? Chat, who would you go with? I'd edge Salah, but in fact, technical. They're very close, honestly, chat. They're very, very close in technical ability, a lot closer than what you think. I think Salah is a slightly better dribbler. I think Rashford has better skills. And then I also think Salah's just a slightly better all-round player. Like, in fact, no, I think he's probably about 30-40% better than Rashford. I do. I think he's quite a bit of a distance above Rashford. The only thing I sit there and say is, if you got Rashford in the right system, how would he do? I think he'd do okay. But the difference between Salah and Rashford is the mentality. Salah has an elite mentality. Rashford, I think he can let things get to him at times. And although it's a shame, Rashford slightly. See, technically, you can argue it because technically Salah isn't supreme. Rashford technically is okay as well. But I'd say he's more skillful than technical. I'd say he's more shoot and hope than precise finisher. You know what I mean? That's what I'd say about Rashford, and then I'd say the same about Salah. It's not trying to be the as you got. I love Rance, by the way. I'm fine being compared to Rance, but me and him have different styles. Therefore, I don't see the comparison. And because I don't see the comparison, I can't agree with it. You know what I mean? And I understand the context you're calling me in. Like you're saying, I'm always negative. I'm not negative. How can you say I'm negative when I've seen Soboslai never play in a red shirt and I'm saying he's going to be a great player? How can I be negative when I'm saying these things? That should justify to you James is just being subjective on his views. That's the difference. Hamez, our four defenders, Robbo, Konate, Virgil van Dijk, and Trent. You have to keep 2 and sell 2. Ooh, fuck. I'd probably go with the centre-backs. Nah, I'd go with Robbo and Virgil, because they're older. Not because they're fully finished, but based on those 4 specific options, I'd go with the older players than the younger players. Konate and Trent have higher ceilings. Do you think we should get rid of Hendo and Thiago to Gerrard's team and then with the money to get a defender? Possibly. Jeez, guys, if you think I wasn't going to let this guy come in the stream and I was not going to give him an A-star intro, then guys, I apologize. You were sadly mistaken on many degrees, right? So this guy, this gentleman, as I would like to call, I'd actually like to refer to him as a king. It's just one of those things. I think to call him a gentleman is fine, but it's not enough. To refer to him as enough, I'll reference him as a king, and certainly on this platform, you know, from a discussion point of view, from a thought-provoking point of view, this is a guy who I really enjoy listening to and discussing with. It's also being a gentleman who I haven't spoke to for a while, so I'm actually very excited to get him on. It is the one. It is the only. It's man like Callum from Cottage. Big up,
Hamez, my bro. Let me just start off by saying, bro, it's so nice to see you back, bro.
Nah, same.
Bloody missed you, brother. Missed you so much, man.
God
so
bless
much,
you, man.
so much. So happy to see you.
Jeez. I just want to say thank you for jumping on as well, lads. Like the fact that you
bro,
just jumped on late
I'll
night.
Be honest, it's purely coincidence. I'm not, you're gonna laugh. Bro, I'm trying to get rid of some of this daddy weight, innit? So I just did a little workout. I'm watching UFC Countdown, doing a workout. Yeah. And I thought, let me quickly go on YouTube to just make sure I've tagged up videos we've done recently and just make sure everything's done on the back end. And I just saw Hamez live and I thought, no, I got to see what he's talking about. And I saw the Nunez chat and I was like, oh. I was like, where you're sitting right now is where I've sat for a long time. It's a rough seat to sit in.
That's right.
Some things have got to be said.
That's right. And you know what, Callum, just to extend because I actually need you, brother. I'm a brother dying right now. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, Callum. I've got many people shooting me at the moment. I'm going, bro. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's one of those things where we need to accommodate each other. So I'm sure you hear what I'm saying. You know that I'm not just coming out here on a front line and saying, oh, Nunez is bad for the sake of Nunez being bad. Nunez is bad because, before he joined, I didn't think he was going to be the greatest option. Yeah. I think you understand from my point of view that, just to clarify one more time in a short perspective for those who don't understand, I don't think he was ever going to take us to a title-winning team. And I think since he's joined, its case studies suggest that when he was in the team, he would get the most of the chances and he wouldn't score them. And then when he was out the team, or if he was left wing, it'd create more chances for the likes of Salah and other players in the team because of the element of Gakpo who joins. And I'm not saying Gakpo was world class by any means. I'm just saying it forced the change in the team. That took Nunez out, and therefore he didn't get the majority of the chances. A lot of my chat hate me for this conversation. Callum, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
So I'll be really transparent with everyone. Anyone who watches me knows my thoughts on Nunez. Before we signed him, I didn't want us to sign him. I've never looked at him and thought he's rubbish, but I'll tell you as a Liverpool fan, I only want creme de la creme, or the best in it. So when I said I didn't want Nunez, it's not because I look at him and think he's crap. It's because I wanted Haaland. Because I think I wanted Haaland or Kane. Did I think they were achievable? No, especially Kane. Haaland, I thought, could have been potentially achievable until I realised how much City were paying him and the backstory of his dad and all that. So I get it. I then said we should have maybe gone for Isak. I think Matt said we should have gone for Nkunku if we are going to keep the false nine situation. I definitely don't want me as a striker. Trust me, you don't want that. If you think the Nunez stuff is bad, you don't want to see me as a striker. It's horror.
Yeah.
My thing with Nunez was I saw the goals he scored for Benfica, and the way I like to judge a player is, would those goals go in against better opposition or better goalkeepers? And some of the goals he was scoring, I would look at and I'd go, a better goalkeeper saves that. And I don't think there are terrible, like, there are very good goalkeepers in the Prem, whereby you can play, I don't know, a mid-table team. You can play in Aston Villa and they got Emi Martinez in goal. That's probably not going to happen in the Portuguese league or the French league or one of the others.
That's
so
right.
When Nunez signed, I was like, okay, well, we've obviously got to give him a chance, but I said this is going to be a project signing. And my exact words when we signed him are, he's going to have to, in my opinion, potentially do the Origi role and then build from that. And people are like, it's crazy to say that because of how much he costs. And I said, sometimes you've got to eradicate the price and you've got to think of the future of the player. I honestly think Nunez was fast-tracked because of the injury to Jota last season in pre-season. I think Jota was meant to be the first choice starting centre forward, and then Nunez was meant to start slowly getting introduced into the team, and that would have potentially helped him.
Which was proven, wasn't it? Which was proven when everybody was fit. Nunez weren't playing as much.
Yes, precisely. And then I think that would have helped him because he would have been learning the style of play. He would have been learning about the culture, learning about the team, and could have been slowly introduced without the pressure of being the guy who has to come in and score goals straight away. One thing I also don't think helped Nunez, which also hindered Salah last season, was the fact of we changed formation, or no, not formation, we changed tactics. We started playing Salah wide, and then we started playing Nunez through the middle. It didn't suit him. Nunez traditionally has always worked well when you've put someone behind him or someone in front of him, someone who's going to occupy defense as well as him occupy defense. To ask him to do that by himself was always going to be difficult, especially in a new league for Liverpool Football Club. In my mind, this time last year when we signed Nunez and Carvalho, I thought it was going to be, before the end of the season, I thought it was going to be Carvalho in the 10 as a 10-second striker, Nunez being a striker, or Firmino being in the 10, Nunez being a striker. For whatever reason, Klopp didn't do this. And it, for me, messed Nunez up. However, where I get a little frustrated with Liverpool fans, and this is probably where I'm going to get a backlash here, is sometimes we have to stop looking at a player who signs for us and automatically go, they're phenomenal. It's not a crime, in my opinion, to criticize one of our players. Now, obviously, there's banter. Like, I will banter players. James, you watch copies, you know how we are. We love the banter. But I would never sit there and go like, that guy's a dickhead, or if I saw him,
I'd want to punch him. Name calling isn't in my realm.
Yeah,
it's not in
like
my realm.
For me, that's a step too far. But like when I see things like ice spice for Joe Gomez and stuff like that because he's twerking, I can laugh at that because that's a sort of banter I get at Power League. If someone nutmegged me, believe me, by the time I get home in a group chat, it's Callum, your legs closed before you go to bed, yeah? Like, it's stuff, and that's how I grew up. That's how I live. So when I banter a player, it's just jokes for me, innit? I'm not taking it serious. If someone banters me, I don't take it serious. So the Nunez thing that frustrated me was that as soon as we signed him, a lot of Liverpool fans were saying, oh, well, look at Haaland. Haaland is only a goal scorer, but this guy can do left wing, he can do this. And I said, we've only bought him to be a goal scorer predominantly, though. Haaland is a different level. And it was like, oh, but look at the amount of goals he scored. Look, and I was like, but Haaland's better. Stop comparing the two because you're going to set yourself up for a fall. And we saw it pretty quickly.
That's right.
Nunez, and the whole thing of he causes chaos, so he's going to be phenomenal. For me, there's nothing that suggests right now that he's going to be phenomenal next season, because composure and IQ are some things you can't necessarily teach. Or you
Chat,
can't
I just want you to listen. I just want you to listen, okay? Me and Callum haven't spoke for time, okay?
Yeah,
and I just want you to realise I've been echoing this, Callum. Carry on.
So when it comes to IQ and composure, I personally think as a striker, you're born with those things. Hence why I made a joke earlier saying I'm not a striker. Guys, I kid you not. I could have 20 chances in front of goal and I might score 5. And that looks brilliant on a score sheet. It looks brilliant. Callum scored 5. If I've had 20 chances and I've missed 15, that means I'm not clinical. That means I'm not great. So Nunez might have scored the goals he scored, but what was his conversion rate? How easy were the chances he was scoring? Was he in the right positions? Was he making the right runs and the right decisions? I look at people like Aguero, who came to England, didn't know the language, didn't know the culture, and played in a new system. But whenever he missed a shot, I didn't hear things like, oh, once he learns the language, he's going to be sick. And I use this example all the time. I've been quite fortunate a few years back to go on a few holidays to different countries and stuff like that. And I've not gone on holiday to play football. I've gone with the missus or I've gone with family. And I've always ended up seeing a group of people playing football, and I've leaned over to the missus and gone, "Oh, you're sunbathing. Do you mind if I just go and have a little kickabout over there?" And she's like, "Why have you brought your football boot?" I was like, "I
sure you're all right with it, babe?
Yeah.
Like, I know this is supposed to be our little getaway, but just for 5 minutes. Oh, man.
This is what I'm saying. And bro, I kid you not, I'll go and play with a group of guys who don't speak a word of English and I don't speak a word of their language.
Yeah.
But football's a universal language.
That's
so
right.
Don't get me wrong. Bro, there'll be times where I zig when I should be zagging because I'm not reading the game, but you see, if I'm in front of goal or I need to make a pass or I need to make a tackle or a block, the language shouldn't affect those things happening. So for me, the excuses we make for Nunez makes it frustrating for people like myself and Hamez who don't necessarily see him as this godlike figure of a striker. But what I do understand from the other side to an extent is, well, if he's getting the chances, then maybe he can start converting more. But in my opinion, I don't see how that flick of a switch just happens overnight. So for me, going into the season, he's third choice striker, which then leads me to the next point. If he's going to be good, in my opinion, he needs regular game time and a lot of momentum and minutes. I don't know if he's going to get that at Liverpool when you've got Jota and Gakpo, unless one of those two gets a long-term injury. So I don't know how I don't know how it's going to work out with Nunez. I pray to God it works out. I'd love nothing more to jump on your show and our show and people ridicule me.
Right.
But I can't see it. I can't
Bro,
see
no,
it.
but you're right. People don't understand with me and Callum. If you don't understand, let me allow you to understand. We want nothing but the success for the football team. We also know we are not the experts, but we will happily add our input. So pre-transfer, we'll add our input. While the transfer is happening, we'll add our input. And when he's playing, we'll also do the same thing. And if he underachieves, we'll also add that into the equation, because honesty is what we like to thrive ourselves on on our channels, and we're not just going to come out for the sake of it and say we believe one thing about a certain subject but we don't actually believe it. So to break it down briefly, Callum, because I'm sure you've probably known about my stance for maybe a bit, maybe not, and if not, then I'll tell you briefly. Before he joined, I said he weren't going to be good enough to get us from what was second to first. That's what my argument was. If you want to use him as a long-term signing, fine. But then where's the right here, right now? If you get him for the long term, you are neglecting the right here, right now. For me, that's an issue if you want to go and compete next season. So that was my first thing. And then he joined. And I also then suggested the idea that, okay, now we are going to add here fully to getting Salah more out wide. And then now he's going to be the one who gets the majority of the chances. Based on what I've seen, his finishing ain't all that elite. And if you want to say the best strikers in the world, I wouldn't say he's the top 10 in finishing. It's not to say he can never get 30 goals in a season. And even Shiranath, and I want to shout out Shiranath, he backed me before by saying, if Nunez gets 30 goals a season and he is the outlet and he's getting 30 goals a season, then that's just kind of become a like for Salah. Therefore, I'll accept Nunez, because he's became the new outlet, which I am fine with. But if you expect him to be the new Haaland, which was the expectation, and I blame the Nunez inners for Nunez's demise of opposition fans and even of Liverpool fans, because if you didn't watch Nunez game in, game out, which I know me and you never, Callum, I also know this chat never. You seen him at Anfield against the team, which literally adheres to his stylistic
plays a high line,
and he is rapid, bro. And I tried to say this, but people said, oh, he looked like Torres. Now, even though he's had good games and he's had good games for us, you can't say he is the creme de la creme to win us trophies, which is all I've ever argued. And then the season proved this to me. And then post-season, I doubt his finishing can improve to a point where he gets 30, 40 goals. But if the system adheres towards his finishing, then of course, I'll go with that. But until that happens, I can't align with this idea because, like you said, Callum, based on my experience with football, I became a better dribbler with age. I improved my ball control. My balance improved. My manipulation of the ball improved.
Yeah.
But my finishing only got so much better. It was just one of those things. It was as much as I tried, as much as I wished I could hit a ball like Steven Gerrard, I could not hit a ball like Steven Gerrard.
Some are just born with it, bro.
And this is why I suggest to people, one of the things you really struggle to improve is that finishing. And if he hasn't improved his finishing, being in an academy for what must have been 10 years to be a professional footballer at least, how do you expect him to improve it? Now, last thing, when people raised, I also noticed that you'll agree with this, Callum. People raised too many arguments with Nunez that they wouldn't have raised for Benteke, they wouldn't have raised for Balotelli, they wouldn't have raised for these strikers. What they would have done, if those strikers say they're not good enough, we need to bring someone new. But Nunez, what they'll do, they'll say he can't say hello yet, or he can't say goodbye yet. He can't speak English. That's the thing I'm getting to.
Yeah.
I don't understand how saying hello opposed to hola or goodbye opposed to adios translates to good finishing. It makes no sense in my brain. Okay, and here's where I think Nunez fans get complacent with me. I had this opinion before he joined, therefore there was no agenda. Before he even had signed on the dotted line, I said I didn't want Nunez. So there's no agenda. There couldn't be no agenda. Didn't even join us. He joins us, he underachieves. I still remain my stance. I think it'd be rather hypocritical of me to change my stance even if he hadn't done much. And then post-season, I still remain my stance. I think where they struggle is because where they defend him so much is where I struggle to see. Because I remember Timo Werner doing actually more than Nunez, and everyone was absolutely custy. It's hateful words, Callum. It's hateful words. But you remember when everyone was saying, I'm so happy we got Jota over Timo Werner?
Yeah.
I'm so happy we got Jota over Timo Werner. Oh, but now that we've got Nunez, I'm actually thinking he could be the new number 9 for Liverpool. It's crazy to me, bro. And then when people don't see what I'm saying, that's when I'm thinking, maybe we do need someone like Callum, because apparently everyone understood what you were saying. Ain't no one understanding what I'm saying.
No, bro. Look, I've had it bad all season because I've pretty much stuck to my stance. Like, bro, as a fan base, because Werner turned us down, we obviously had a little bit more malice towards him. But everything we say about Nunez is what Chelsea fans would say about Werner. And we used to laugh them out of the place and be like, well, you brought him in to score goals, not to make runs to take him away from, take the defender away so someone else can run in. It's like, he was there to score goals. The difference between Nunez and Werner, though, is Nunez, if I'm not mistaken, scored more goals in his first season. And Werner's season wasn't as disjointed as Nunez's. Obviously, Nunez came in, got the ban for the headbutt, then came in again. Then he picked up an injury, if I'm not mistaken, and then was sort of in and out of the team. So whereas Werner was kind of a mainstay for the majority of his first season, I do think Nunez is a better. Here's the thing: I don't even want to sound shady, but Werner before Chelsea signed him looked very good in front of goal. Like, very good. So did Nunez as well, to an extent. I'd arguably say Werner looked better in front of goal than Nunez. However, Nunez had a better variety of goals.
Callum, I'm not saying this for you to agree with me. This is my saying, and my saying only before people include Callum into my mess. Werner's better than Nunez, bro. Like, I'm not saying Nunez can never be better than Werner. I'm just saying right now, based on the information of what we know, Werner's a better player.
All right, so I think Werner is a better footballer in terms of first touch, dribbling, and things like that. I think Nunez is a better striker. And the reason I say that is because I think Nunez throughout a season will get you a variety of goals. And it's weird because Liverpool have been releasing like highlights from the season. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, they released a Nunez video of all the goals he scored this season. And I'll be honest, obviously it paints a picture of like he was brilliant all season when it's not, but it was just showing his goals and the variety of his goals. For example, the Man United header, that was a really hard header to execute. He scored a goal against Wolves in the FA Cup where Trent's just pinged it over, and his first touch is a left-footed side foot volley into the bottom corner. He scores the header against Ajax from a corner. His goal against West Ham where the cross comes in and he heads it down on the floor. Even in that game, he hit the post when he hits it on his chest and smashes a volley. I think Nunez over the course of a season gets you a very good variety of goals, but I don't think he'll ever be a clinical goal scorer. I think he may, and here's the thing, I think people confuse clinical with the amount of goals you get. I think clinical, for example, I think a striker could be clinical if they score 15 goals in a season, if they only get 30 chances, for example. Whereas another striker, prime example, the lockdown season, I think Bamford was 3rd or 4th top goal scorer in the league. However, if you watch Bamford on a weekly basis, you'll see how many chances he got and how many he missed. So he was never clinical, but he scored a lot of goals because Leeds were making a lot of chances for him. Whereas you've got someone like a Harry Kane who doesn't get loads of chances, will create chances for himself, create chances for others, and smash the ball in for fun, and has been doing it for years. I think Nunez needs to be in a team that has a number 10. Now, for those who are Nunez in and disagree with us, what I will say, you see if Szoboszlai comes in and plays as a 10, then I think Nunez can cook. But I don't know if Klopp does that. I don't think Klopp does that. But for me, for Nunez to work, you've got to build a team around him. And I don't think you build a team around Nunez when you've got Trent, Salah, Szoboszlai now, Diaz, you've got so many other quality players who, in my opinion, you build a team around before you build around Nunez.
Do you know what? I think you can make a team around Nunez. Hear me out. I think you can make Szoboszlai. I think you can make McAllister and Trent all adhere to him. The reason why I disagreed with it right now in the short term, which is what everyone was claiming it was going to be, was a short term and a long term signing, was that Nunez was coming in as the volume chance taker, but we already had Salah for that, and he'd been doing that very, very well for season after season after season. So I didn't understand why we were now going to have 2 of them, because I don't mind having one player who's going to take the majority of your goals, because it can work. It has for us. It has for City this season with Haaland. But I'll give you a couple of examples where it doesn't usually work. So, for instance, Manchester United with Ronaldo, he got a lot of goals, but they finished 6th. He leaves. They then go back up the table to 3rd. And the season before he joined, they finished 2nd. Right? That's Ronaldo. Okay? And then there's other examples of out-and-out number 9s, out-and-out outlets, the ones who get in behind and get on the end. Go on, Callum.
Harry Kane, bro. Look where Tottenham finished this season.
Bro, it doesn't matter if your striker is just getting goals. It can still take away from the overall team. So when I see someone like Szoboszlai come in, I feel encouraged, because my doubt with Nunez was always that if we adhere too much towards him, which we was trying to do, Salah went so far out right at the beginning of last season, it was ridiculous. He's not that level of creator. He can get assists, but he's not that level of creator where you're trying to, he's got to be in and around that final 3rd, not nearly by the halfway line. That's not how Salah works. Therefore, when Nunez was moved out of the team, you saw Salah get more goals. Gakpo chipped in with a few. Jota comes back into the team. He gets a couple of goals. And the point that I'm leading to is that we have to have a squad. We have to have an all-round team. If we don't have these things, then we're neglecting the basics that requires challenging on all fronts. So it's not that I don't like Nunez. It's not that I don't think Nunez can ever work. In fact, Callum, did you know I predicted Nunez to score 20 goals this season? Did you? Even though I didn't like him as a signing. I said, no, but he'll still score 20 goals. And the reason why
I think I said 15 in the league. I thought we'd get 15 in the league.
And think about it, he got 9, bro.
Yeah, I know. I think Bobby got more than he did, if I'm not mistaken. Or the same amount.
Maybe in the league. Maybe in the league, or same amount near enough. And Bobby played less games, I would assume.
Way less,
There's a factor, and Nunez was supposed to come in as that goal scorer that Bobby apparently hasn't been for years. So it's not a slander on Nunez. I actually said he was going to score 20 goals, and I didn't like him as a signing. So he even underachieved to my expectations, and I didn't even rate him as a signing. And it weren't because he couldn't score goals. It was because of my fear that he would take away from the overall team, and it'd be too much of a like for Salah. And now that I've seen him be that, and now that I've seen we've won 8 games in a row without him in the team, I'm thinking, why not keep doing that going forward? Because we don't need to rush him.
It's a tough one. Here's the thing as well, though. And again, I'm probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers with this one. I think Klopp has to take a majority of the blame for how Nunez has performed to it. I won't say the majority, actually, because Nunez is his own man and his own striker. I say 50%, because there was a point in the season where Nunez was actually getting back into form, and Klopp started moving him around or dropped him and started sort of messing about with his game time. I think Klopp needs to really have in his mind a plan for how he's going to improve Nunez and how he's going to integrate Nunez into the team, because Nunez, I'd say probably from around, September, the end of September to the beginning of the World Cup, I think Nunez was our best outfield player. Then the World Cup happens. You expect him to come back fresh because Uruguay got knocked out pretty early. Came back, and then obviously Gakpo came in, and he was moving Nunez all over the place. And again, I never saw us getting Gakpo to play as false 9. I never once would have seen it. I thought he was brought in to challenge Diaz. But the moment it felt like Klopp stumbled upon Gakpo playing in the false 9, it was just like, oh, well, Bobby did this for me for years. I'm just reverting back to type.
Back to safety type idea.
Yeah. Klopp's got to stop doing that. It's like you've either got to go all out, or you just for me, if you're gonna go back to the false 9, you're better off cashing in on Nunez now, with all due respect, or telling him he's going to be your Origi now, regardless of how much he costs. And then saying to Nunez, are you going to be happy with that? Because Nunez is never going to do up false 9. He doesn't have the technical ability to do that. Right. He doesn't have the game nous to do that. Right. But that's not his fault, because Haaland couldn't play false 9. But Haaland's still world class. So I think Klopp has a decision to make, and so does Nunez potentially. But I'll be honest with you. You see, if Nunez doesn't have a good season this season coming, we have to sell. We can't do this, what we've done with Naby Keita and Ox and all these other players.
Go for free,
just sell. Let him get on with his career, and let us recoup some of the money that we've spent on him, and then go and get someone more catered to the style of football you want to play.
I want to round up soon, because I don't want to keep you for too long, and I appreciate you jumping on, by the way, sir. Nice one. I just want to say, I disagree with that specific point that you made there. Reason being, I thought, because you referenced at the start of that a number 10 was required for Nunez to be maximised.
Yeah.
I believed, if you analyse, if you try and remember and go back to the start of last season when we would play our 4-3-3, which was a CDM at the start of the game, but throughout the game, I think it transitioned to a Harvey Elliott going from a right centre mid to right wing, but also a cam. And therefore, I'd see and my problem was never Nunez not getting chances. This is my only thing. This is why I can't blame Klopp for Nunez. I don't know if you agree, if you hear this point, but I can't blame Klopp for Nunez, because Nunez was getting the chances required to score the goals. He just weren't converting the chances. So this was my problem. His finishing weren't good enough. Klopp was creating a system to a point where his best goal scorer and the Premier League's best goal scorer was now moved all the way to the right wing as an assister, to the point where Nunez was getting the majority of the chances, missing said chances. But when he gets out the team and Klopp reverts back to basics, which you said you had a problem with, Gakpo comes in, we go on that 7 to 8 game win streak, which gets us from what was 15 points behind fourth to now 5 points behind fourth. And yes, by the end of the season, it was 6 or 7 or 8, but it closed the gap. Can you imagine? Not only if we had Gakpo from start of the season, but also if we were adhering to said system from start of the season. So from that, where I think Klopp went wrong, weren't adhering too much towards Nunez. I think it was putting Nunez in there in the first place. That's where I think he went wrong.
I can't disagree with that based on what actually happened in the season. I can't.
Because do you remember when Harvey Elliott was getting transition from right centre mid to cam throughout the game?
because he's playing in that half space, and that's why Trent was occupying that space, and we just weren't balanced. We weren't balanced at all.
That's right. Exactly. And that's why now when I see Szoboszlai coming in, yes, he can increase those chances. But we've saw even when he gets those chances, he ain't scoring those goals. So that's why I have a problem. So when I see Jota, who's a better converter, when I see Salah, who's a better converter, when I see Diaz, who can create for the other two, I think get that to be the front three. Let Nunez be whatever he wants to be. And just because it doesn't adhere to certain fans' Haaland's expectations, does not concern my success or the success for my football club. I want Nunez to do well.
Yeah,
and if Nunez does well, I love Nunez. And if he scores 30 goals a season, I'm fine with Nunez. Yeah. But until that point, my priority is success. And I have seen the best success, the good success, if you want to reference it biblically, is when you analyze it from a point of view of a false number 9, bro. A false number 9. Like when we've got that player who can create for what is the current outlet of Salah. When Salah goes and you want to use Nunez, fine, try something new. But for right now, I just don't think I don't think you fix what's not broken.
All right, here's where I'm going to flip the disagreement.
Go, sir.
I don't think Gakpo should be our starting number 9. I think it should be Diogo Jota.
Okay.
All right, so hear me out. I hear what you're saying. We had success with the false number 9, and we did. And Gakpo changed my opinion on him because I wasn't overly keen on the Gakpo sign, and now I'm looking at him saying, you've humbled me. What I will say is, though, the false number 9 worked, especially with Firmino, because the midfielders were reclusive and the fullbacks were doing the either overlapping on Robbo's side or Trent was creating from the half space. I don't think we're going to be doing that as much now because I think that system's been figured out, because all that was happening was teams were going, right, cool, you can't play through us. We'll play this low block. We'll pack out the midfield and the defense. You start crossing the ball in. We'll get our tall defenders in there and we'll head it out. I think with the signings of a McAllister and a Szoboszlai, that's Jurgen Klopp saying, well, we're going to start creating more from the midfield, especially if Trent moves into midfield as well. If that were to happen, then I think the need for a false 9 is not as high, because the false 9's job is to come into midfield, open up space for the attackers, as well as create not necessarily assists, but with movement and knowing where to be at the right times and occupying certain players on the pitch. I think if you bring in, or as we have, more creative players in the midfield or move Trent into midfield, then I think you're allowing someone like a Jota to play, and you have Diaz, who's the creator out of the front 3, and Salah and Jota, who are the 2 goal scorers. Because everyone lauds the front 3, and obviously Firmino, Salah, and Mane giving me the greatest years of my life as a Liverpool fan. Firmino's my favourite Liverpool player since Gerrard's left. But he was never the goal scorer. When you have a front 3, whether it be Real Madrid, whether it be Liverpool, Barcelona's probably the only outlier. But out of the 3, there's always one creator and 2 goal scorers and one hybrid. Messi was the hybrid at Barcelona. Suarez was the goal scorer. Neymar was more of the creator. At Real Madrid, when it was Benzema, Bale, and Ronaldo, Benzema was more the creator as the false 9. Bale was more of the goal scorer. Sorry, Ronaldo was the goal scorer and creator, and Bale was a goal scorer. At Liverpool, Mane and Salah were the goal scorers. Salah was the outlier because he could create and score, and Firmino was a creator. So I personally think we can flip that around and have Diaz as the creator of the front 3, Jota and Salah as the 2 goal scorers, and Salah who does the creating and the goal scoring, and the rest of the team would hopefully tick.
Dead quick, is that with a number 10 or a number 6?
Say that again, sorry, bro.
Sorry, is that with a number 10 or a number 6? So you've gone with that front 3. Would you want to go with a number 10 or 6 instead?
I'd go over 10. I'd go double pivot, because I don't think we have we don't have a destroyer. Fabinho's not the guy anymore for me.
Okay.
So I'd go 4-2-3-1. I think we can do 4-3-3. But I need to see Trent in midfield as well. The inverted thing, again,
that's not happening. Can I give you the fact? Can I give you the fact?
Go for it. We're not going to play it.
Never. Can I just say never? Never.
So is Trent going into midfield then?
No.
He's going to stay at right back.
Yes.
See, I don't like that.
Okay, Callum. As much as I care about how you're feeling,
Yeah.
I didn't ask how you was feeling, right?
Yeah.
I didn't
It's what's
ask
going to
how you
happen.
felt about the. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like certain things. I'm saying it's not going to happen, and I
So we're
believe
not.
you should play in midfield,
So we're not
bro.
going to do the inverted thing at all anymore.
We might do the inverted thing. Bro, hear me out, yeah? Might do the inverted thing. Besides the inverted thing, you think he's going to play in midfield when we got man like Connor Bradley? Shout out to Connor Bradley because he done sick with
Big up,
Bolton.
Connor.
When we got Connor Bradley at backup right back. And then if it's not him, it's Joe Gomez, who is not stylistically adherent to our system.
Yeah.
He won't be the replacement for the game-to-game basis, nor will Connor Bradley, unless he's amazing and we don't know about it. So unless me and you can simultaneously agree right this second, Connor Bradley's good enough to be our right back, in the very next sentence, I can confirm to you, Callum Wynn, we ain't buying a right back, bro. We ain't buying a
I
right
know.
back,
We
bro.
should be, though. We should be.
You're right. But I'm
We
telling
should
you
be.
what we are going to do. I'm not telling you what we should do, because if we should do things, there's a lot of things we should do. I'm telling you what we are going to do. We are not going to buy a right back.
Oh, that's going to break my heart.
Therefore, Trent stays at right back. Connor Bradley's the backup. Joe Gomez does what he does as whatever he is. And then we maintain the midfield. Hence why we've bought in 2 midfielders and why we're linked with 1 more. So I believe that it's about ruling out Trent as even an option. And whether you think that's right or wrong, let's go back to the original point. I don't think we thrive off a number 10. I don't think we thrive off a number 10 in the system. I think we actually massively lacked pressing-wise when Harvey Elliott started playing as that number 10. Pre the injury to Lee.
Correct.
And
But
then
Szoboszlai.
Yes. So then when Szoboszlai now comes into the team, I think he's got supreme technical ability, though. I think he's got one.
He's a De Bruyne type player.
Bro, this guy, no, Callum, I don't know if you agree with me. This is how I don't want people thinking I'm just always anti-FSG, anti-signings, anti-everything. I'm not. It's really not the case. I have not said one bad word about Szoboszlai. In fact, I might have overrated him.
I might be in your boat as well. But do you know what's crazy, Hamez? I did a members video, mate, on the 4th or 7th of June. I can't remember the exact date. And I was like, guys, we're sleeping on the fact that we haven't got goal scoring midfielder. Man United have got Bruno, Kevin Man City, Arsenal got Odegaard. We need one. Szoboszlai is the guy, but we're not going to get him? It looks like Newcastle are going to try and get him. But when we signed Szoboszlai, I kid you not, the relief I felt, it almost felt for the first time in a long time. I was like,
superstar.
The club gets it. The club gets it.
Yes, like they're getting the player before they turn into that world-class player type idea. Like before they are truly established.
Yeah.
Bro, I hear you.
He's got everything. And look, here's a joke, bro. We could sit here in a year's time and be like, yeah, that Szoboszlai take was bad, innit? Like, he really didn't play well.
You're right.
But there's I don't have any evidence in front of me so far that suggests that Szoboszlai isn't going to work.
There we go. About
whether it be set pieces, right foot, left foot, he can arrive late in the box and score headers as well. Like, the boy's got everything, and he's 22. Got everything.
Oh, but you know what, Callum? Do you know what I say? This is just as important as anything, bro. You can be a great YouTuber. If you don't have this, you won't be consistent. If you are a great footballer, if you don't have this, you won't play well every week because you'll be thinking about something else. You won't be reacting the same way. It's this. When I see Szoboszlai, I see a guy who, Callum, let me know if you agree. Yes or no? Do you agree that your environment from basically a baby massively influences how you are when you're older?
Yeah.
I agree. The reason why I raised the question is purely on the premise that Szoboszlai is somebody who I am assuming he was one of the best footballers up until he was 5. And then I will include that up until he was 10. Then I will say he was the best player in his Hungary national team going through the rankings. Then I'll say he was the best player in the actual national team. Then I'll also say he was the best player at Salzburg. I'll even argue, even with Nkunku, he's the best player at Leipzig. And then I'll give you a fact, which was he has won a trophy every single season in his professional career. I'll even reference one video where he told Neymar Jr. straight to his face, penalty ready to be taken. I am going to score this penalty. And by the way, you're not going to throw me off. This is a guy with numerous examples of elite mentality. And when I combine this with fantastic dribbling, elite shooting, great attributes. The reason why I doubted Nunez, I like to give my fan base two references, Nunez and Szoboszlai, because they believe I had an agenda against Nunez, and now they're seeing me be completely happy with Szoboszlai. This is why I analyze attributes and mentality.
Yes. Yeah.
If I analyze attributes, I can get a good assessment on a player. Yeah. And I didn't really appreciate the same way other fans did Nunez on his attributes. Szoboszlai, I recognize these attributes, and as long as he has this, with certain psychological interviews and all these things determine he has, I believe he's going to be fantastic, bro. I really do. And the only thing that stops him is injuries. That's the only thing I can see.
Yeah, same. He's the one I'm most excited about. Like McAllister, I think is a very good signing, but
he's good as well. He's great as well.
But I didn't think he would be a needle mover by himself. I think Szoboszlai could be a needle mover. Like we could look at Szoboszlai in 3 years' time and go, like, guys, wow, like we've got Szoboszlai. Like that to me fills me with so much joy. Like he could be the difference between us winning trophies and not winning trophies. For me, he's that guy. We still need more, but I just think he's that guy.
Where have you been? Oh, my life. Oh, my life. You know what I mean, bro? Do you know this past 12 months where I've been debating this Nunez? Where have you been, bro? You know,
I've been debating it as well, getting battered as well, bro.
We've been battling in our separate fields, the same people.
Yeah, we have been.
Bro, it's amazing. The discussion's been great tonight, chat, and also I always like to say that in this channel we always like to discuss, we always like to be thought-provoking, and it's not for just being thought-provoking for thought-provoking's sake, but it's also about not being blindly positive to things that's very easy to be blindly positive about. So it's about being the most balanced that we can. And I feel like not only me and Callum have taught each other a few things on these topics about the formation, the striker, and who we should play, but I think the chat's learned a lot as well, because it seems, especially when Callum came in, you seem to listen a little bit more, and you heard what he was saying now. I'll blame it on the Scouse accent if you want, but the
it's
point
just a new voice, bro. Bro, if you were to do, I was debating something on Coppish and you were to come in, people would do the same. But it happens to me so many times where I've got to go into comments and be like, guys, bro, the amount I've been called negative in the last 3 months, and I'm just like, guys, can you point to a point in the video or give me a timestamp where I was negative? And it's like, you were just negative. And I was like, guys, tell me, because I want to improve as a YouTuber. I don't want to come across negative. So
you want to be right, Callum?
Yeah, just
you want to be correct.
Never can tell me.
So raise me a point that says that you're right and I'm wrong. Raise me a point that says Nunez is going to be world class. Because believe me, I want to see it. I want to see it. Because the second I see it, I can sleep easy.
Bro, you know how shameless I am, bro. I'm gonna act like I never said anything bad about Nunez. Like,
I'll apologize. I'll never say anything bad in the future. And by the way, I'll owe 100 more apologies in the future. I'm just saying, I will. Yeah. I hope the chat now gets more of an assessment and can appreciate the discussion that was brought to the forefront. There's not just discussions like these on this channel. In fact, a lot of discussions like what me and Callum have just had are inspired based on his channel with Drifty, with Matt, loads of great conversations, guys. So I only encourage you to go and subscribe. It's not on my tab at the moment, but post this video being done with the live stream, the link in the title will be in there. I can only thank Callum enough for popping into the stream, because he made it massively more better. Last super chat before we go, Mr. Tamizzy, shout out to you, sir. Big up, fellas. My optimistic side says McAllister 10, Brighton days, or maybe agents CJ, Curtis Jones, and Elliot in the under-21s. Hush, hush. Persuade Colwell to join us, as Cal says. Cal, is this what you're saying? You're saying Colwell business?
Yeah, so for me, it's between two centre-backs. It's between Colwell and Inacio. Colwell ticks the box for homegrown and all those things, and he's very good, obviously. He's got Prem experience. But I think Chelsea are going to try and get as much money out of us as possible if they even decide to sell. Whereas I think Inacio, I think you can go and you can activate his release clause and you can get him now. And now, granted, he's not homegrown. We wouldn't have to register him now, so it still gives us a free space in the squad as well, because we are kind of maxed out in the squad numbers. So yeah, that's what I would do. It's got to be one of them two, but we need a centre back. In an ideal world, we get a centre back, a right back, and a centre midfielder. And I think we either challenge or win the league, personally.
This season.
Yeah, I do. You know,
Hmm.
if we get
Nah,
a
I'm not
DM,
gonna.
a top quality DM or a top quality ball winning midfielder, and let's say we get a Nacho or Colwill, and we get, bro, I'm happy with a Carl Walker Peters at right back, and then Trent moves into midfield, bro. I think we become a
Nah.
force to be reckoned with.
Chat, have I not mentioned Kyle Walker-Peters a good few times on this stream
No
before?
way.
Nah, chat, serious.
Yeah, we're
Bro,
connected.
that specific right back, when you analyse everything, the stylistic point of view, the
makes
price
sense.
he's got relegated, it makes sense. Homegrown.
Hamez.
Bro, nah, bro, do you know everyone's been fuming at me about, this is the last thing, everyone's been fuming at me about Thiago. Oh, he takes up a homegrown spot. Why has Adrian just signed a new contract?
Bro!
Why have we just signed him for 60k a week, bro?
I said
Bro,
this.
do you feel me?
Bro, I said this. The moment there was talks, I said, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You sell or you get rid of Adrian and then you bring in Ronzila, or you go and get an English or Welsh or a homegrown goalkeeper. Takes away one of the points of this. Bloody go and get Scott Carson if you need to. Go and get someone to be third choice who's homegrown. And we've missed a boat. We've completely missed a boat.
Your goalkeeper's the one to do that with, bro. Like, even just get Chris Kirkland back for a season or something, you know what I mean? It's probably just as fine as Adrian. I'm just saying. And if you want to get vibes, I've heard you say this before, actually, Callum. If you want to get vibes, get Callum in the dressing room.
Get me.
And I'm sure he'll take a couple £100 a week and he'll be fine with it.
Bro, I'll do everything. I'll cook.
Bro,
I'll clean.
Give Callum transport for him and his family and tickets to the game. I'm sure he will fulfill the same role as Adrian.
Facts. Facts. There's so many out there we could have got. And he was just like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Bro, we had Andy Lonergan. Where's Andy Lonergan
facts.
when you need him?
Because he went, didn't he go, Andy Lonergan's at Everton?
Yeah. Bro, Andy Lonergan's at Everton. Scott Carson's at Man City getting Champions Leagues in Istanbul for the second time. Bro, why can't we just go and sort? If we think, okay, we can't sort out the homegrown players. Thiago needs to go because the homegrown.
Nah.
Why keep players like Adrian? It makes no sense, bro.
And it should have been, for me, the non-homegrown players we should have looked to move on would have been Adrian and Fabinho for me.
Yeah. That's right, bro. That's right. Chat, that was an A-star stream, and you can't say it wasn't, because you were supposed to only get me for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. We've been live not only for near enough 2 hours, and this is not on Callum. This is amateur to Callum, by the way.
I was fully tuned in before I jumped on, man.
Bro, this guy does like 5 hours streaming, so I'm not even going to try and compare me to him yet. But 2 hours for Hamez, you guys know that's actually decent. You know what I mean? So smash a like on this, subscribe to JRTV, but also go subscribe to Team Coppish, because I always like to say that when people invest their time into our channel, it's always great if they can see that time invested back into their channel with a few subscribers and whatnot from JRTV.
We Callum, need to 75k though, bro. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are we doing there? 75k's around the corner. Let's make it happen, man. One of the best in the game is Hamez. Let's make this happen. He's the future. He's the future of Liverpool content. Like,
we get there, blood. We get there, Callum. You see what I say? We're gonna have a nice little 100k plaque right here.
Bro, I can't wait to see that just hanging. I can't wait to see this hanging up there on the wall, bro.
Bro, it'll be the same size as me head, because my head's massive. You know what I mean? One of those things. Guys, big up to yourself. Last thing I always like to say before the stream ends is that Jesus loves you all, and if you ever need to message me about anything biblically, anything that you need reference on or anything like that, then please do give me a message. That's just one thing that he always tells me to tell you, and also know that I love you as well. And again, if you ever need to message me, my Instagram's there or comments are there, and I'm happy to give you reference on whatever scripture or whatever thing you need to learn about, even if it's not biblical, anything at all. Always want to add here to you guys. But anyway, thank you for watching. And me and Callum will see you guys in a bizzle. Peace out.